Hi, I am Tara and this is Alfie.
Hello, everyone. We are delighted to be here and to share a few stories of what has been working for us and our families during these times of Corona and lockdown.
Alfie, would you like to start and tell us your story?
Yeah, so we just had this lovely conversation doing a time to think together around what is really working for us. And one thing I noticed is that for me, there are times when it's really, really useful to think about my preferred future, to think about, how do we as a family want to live together? What is important to us? How do we notice that we have a good time together, and to fostering conversations around that? And we often do that, I think, similar to you, Tara, at dinner time, or sometimes in the afternoon, sitting down together and having conversations about that. And sometimes our daughter is 6 years old, and she loves to draw. So sometimes we would draw that. And we just recently sat together and had a little issue about like how we talk with each other, basically. And, she was like a little bit upset with us, and we didn't always listen in the moment. So she would say, you're like, would become really angry. So, and we said, okay, how do we want to have that? Because we don't want to converse like that with each other. And then we sat down and took her colors, her pens, her color pens, and a sheet of paper. And then we were drawing how we want to have it together. And that made a really huge difference, because right now we have this drawing lying around here. And when something is from time to time, we just put it out and everyone knows what we want. And then there are other times where this doesn't really work for me, where it's not time, where it doesn't energize me to talk about my preferred future, because, well, I don't even know because of what, but it's just easier I cannot really connect with it. And then it's much easier to ask myself, what's working? What is still working? What do I do? What did I do during other times that helped me to keep going, and really start to reconnect with my resources rather than my preferred future? And that then helps me to get up in the morning, to sit down and do my breathing exercises in the morning. And because I know it does really good to me. And often I would sit down in the afternoon or in the evening before I go to bed, and I love to journal and to just write down, what did I do today to take care about myself? Knowing that when I take care about myself, it makes a difference for the others as well. Yeah, and you had this amazing story about your runs.
Yeah, well, listening to you share your stories, Alfie, it just really reminded me of, I've I run quite a lot, and that is for me most definitely my self-care. It's something that really nourishes me and makes a big difference to me, and a big difference to my family as well. And yeah, when you were talking, Alfie, it really conjured up this image of myself attempting to run up hills. And, like I said, I've been running for a long time, but I can find hills really challenging. And Bath where I live is a pretty hilly city. So, and I often would have this thought and be thinking about that sort of getting to the top of the hill, that being my preferred future, and really having that conversation with myself in that moment. Am I heading, I'm heading towards this preferred future. I'm wanting to get to the top of the hill. And do I look at that? Do I put all my focus on looking at the top of the hill? And what I noticed was that in that moment didn't work for me. And then I started to think, actually, what are my strengths? What are my resources? And almost like closing my eyes and really noticing, rather than kind of got my focus on the top of the hill, but closing my eyes and really fixing my thoughts on my strength and my resources. And the difference that that made to me, or makes to me, when I attempt the hills, is that I feel more energized, that I feel by noticing I've done this before, I can do this, that this physical sort of difference, and then my ability to and I've got my eyes closed and I'm running up the hill, and I get there. And I just, I suppose wanted to highlight that, and now, as I said, really inspired by what you shared, Elfie, that, at times it's not always looking at that preferred future, but actually noticing that strength and capability and resource within myself that enables me to get to the top of the hill.
And what I so much love about your story is that it would be so easy to focus on, why the hell am I doing this?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I know that I used to run a lot. And when I did, when I ran, it was like often, why am I doing this? And this is not very helpful. And like really you could so easily focus all the obstacles and everything that's so hard and yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And, at times when I thought, why, thinking, why can't I do this? Why can't I run up the hill? And that not being useful. And that by not focusing in on the problem, on the difficulty, but looking to my strengths and my resources in that moment, the difference that makes. And I'm like, whoa, I can really get up that hill. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And Tara and I are super, super curious to, also hear from you. What is working well for you in these times? And maybe you also notice a difference between looking at, what you want versus looking at your resources and strength and qualities that help you to thrive, and or your kids and your family. And we would love to hear from you, the differences that makes, and and the difference also compared to when you look at what doesn't work.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as well, just, no matter how small, things can make a really big difference and have a really useful knock-on effect. So really interested to hear from you.